Welcome to Speaking Of. I'm Jared.
And I'm Kate.
I do
Jeez,
feel...
Gromit! I couldn't not.
It was very well done, yes.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Wensleydale.
So, I have a question for you.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm curious to see if this particular anomaly has manifested
Sorry, carry on.
in... Okay. There we go.
Technical issue.
Technical issues.
Okay.
We don't have a bobbert around to order.
Right.
That's what we need a bobbert for.
Exactly. Or a scooter at least.
At least. So, a couple of weeks ago on Facebook, I saw one of my friends had posted about this issue.
Oh boy.
And I couldn't really believe it.
Are we going to get political?
No, we're not getting political. Not at all. So,
okay.
I have a couple of my friends text me from work. And they're like, you need to open up your work email, like, right now. Because right now I'm only doing, like, once a week check-ins.
Sure.
And, like I said, I had seen this particular thing happen with a friend who's also out of state, bear in mind. I don't know if that plays into it or not.
Okay.
So...
Oh, boy.
And the one friend is specific. She's like, it has to be a company-wide email. It can't be, you know, just like correspondence or whatever from all of us. Okay.
I have to know what you're talking about first.
That's because I'm not there yet.
What has to be a company-wide email?
So the email has to be company-wide when I get into my email. Okay, that's the only important.
That's what you need to get into your email for.
Right.
Is
that's
a
what I need to
company-wide
get for
email.
a company-wide email.
Okay.
So I get in and I'm like reading it, and she's on the phone, and she's like, "No, you have to scroll to the very bottom."
Oh,
and I'm like, "Okay." So you go through it and you read, you know, this policy and whatnot is changing, blah blah blah.
Right.
And at the end it says, P.S. If you're reading this from home, please disregard this email.
What?
So my friend, that it originally happened to him through an entirely different company, obviously, he's like, how about if it has to be disregarded, we just don't send it to begin with?
Here's my thing. Okay, if you're reading it from home, I assume that it has to do with workplace safety.
It does,
COVID
and various,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Fine. So, to say, if you're reading this from home, disregard it, is different than if you are only working from home, disregard it. What if I'm working in the office, but I'm reading the email at home?
No, that's my thing. So that's my new joke. I'm like, I'm going to start reading all of my emails at home.
Right?
And
so
then when I go back, I'm going to be
attention.
like, you know what?
You said
I got that email about no pajamas at work, but
I
was
was
at
at
home.
I just...
So it's my new favorite. And it makes me
the
think.
wind is blowing on our microphone.
Oh dear.
Sorry, everybody.
After I gave you that great
I know. I'm sorry.
lead-in, whatever.
Carry on.
No, that's all. That was my first story. But yeah, just that I'm gonna read all my emails at home,
If
and
you're reading this at home,
please disregard this email.
And okay, if truly reading it at home means you can disregard it,
Right.
why wouldn't you put that at the start?
Well, and what's
After you've
funny
read through this entire
is that
email,
dogs on the set.
disregard it.
Disregard it. So yeah, so that's why everybody was so anxious for me to read it, because I am at home and can say,
my God.
disregard.
It don't make no sense.
I
Oh.
tell you what. I tell
Okay.
you what. So yeah.
All right. Wow.
Go off of that.
Speaking of things that don't make no sense, I'm going to take it down a notch. Chadwick Boseman.
Oh my goodness, you're going to take it down by
I know.
like thousands.
But what the freaking what?
So the thing, and maybe this shouldn't upset me as much as it does, but I was telling this to somebody the other day. because we all know that he kept his battle private.
Right.
So during that time, he was being criticized for being too skinny.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was talking to Hubs about this, and I was like, I wonder if all of those people feel like jerks now.
I hope so.
And if they don't, well, there's a special place in hell.
Right. Right.
But this is why, I mean, it's the classic example of you have no idea.
Right.
Mom, did you do this? Did you do this?
It'll be more fun if it's supernatural.
Right. What's happening?
It is supernatural!
I can't see past my mask to fix it.
In the meantime, I will sing you a song. What's love got to do with it?
Actually, it's still fun.
Got to do with it.
See us fun.
What's love but a second-hand
sorry.
emotion?
I
Sorry, that
should've-
was more a dramatic reading than a singing.
I should have used the fresh power. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Next time we'll have light.
It's okay. Go suck up
We're
the
lit
energy
enough
now.
right now. Okay, so Chadwick Boseman.
So Chadwick Boseman.
First of all, I'm almost as upset as I was with Anton.
Oh,
what's his-
Yelkin.
Yelkin. Yeah. Oh, dog. Okay. I'm almost that upset.
Right.
But because it was a health issue, it's a little bit less traumatic, but it's still traumatic. And
It is. Well,
there was an interview with the guy, and I can't remember his name, but he was in Defy Bloods with
oh, right.
Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
And he was being interviewed and actually admitted that, so he met Chadwick Boseman on the set of that movie.
Right.
During which time, apparently, he was going through chemotherapy
Chemo.
and surgery.
Right.
Nobody knew this, right? So he goes home, and his wife says, oh, so tell me about who's in the movie. What do you think of Chadwick Boseman? And he said, you know, he's nice, but I think he's kind of precious because he has these people around him all the time. And as soon as we're done, he's got this person rubbing his back and this person rubbing his feet. And I don't know, maybe Black Panther just went to his head or something.
Oh, no.
So then
that kind of precious.
Yes. So, but then he comes back and says, and now that I know,
Right.
I'm so ashamed that I ever thought that.
Right.
Sorry, I'm having mask trouble again.
I know. Me too.
So it's just the classic example of you have no idea. So stop acting
Right.
like we know what everybody's going through, except for us. I mean, we do, for the most part, know who to not like and who to like and
It's
why.
true.
But that's just for us. Okay.
Well, my other issue with it too is that everyone's so, like, the man he has had, I believe, his, like, a private funeral, and then they're going to have a public funeral.
Mhm.
But there's such, what's going to happen? So now I'm having mask issues. I'm sorry, people.
Oh, they're going on and on about Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
Right?
Black Panther. What's going to happen in Black Panther? And I'm like, he's not
Yeah.
even been laid to rest
Right.
yet. Calm
Give
down.
it a minute. It's not as though
So,
Marvel has like a back pocket plan B, just in
Well-
case. I mean, come on.
yeah. And see, and I like this plan, but again, I'm irritated that it's even been discussed because, of
You're
course,
gonna
the
lose
plan.
your mask on this side.
Are we good?
Do both of them. No, both of them.
Both of the masks? And I lost my masks.
Oh my goodness.
This is a professional operation.
Puppy.
Dog.
I swear we've done this before in our lives.
So yeah, so they want Shuri, which makes
Which-
sense.
yeah, which I can
and
see that,
that's fine,
but I agree. It's not
I'm
time
like,
to talk about
no,
it yet.
let's not worry about that right now.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Well, and there was a similar thing when Carrie Fisher passed
Oh.
away too. Of what are we gonna do for the next
Oh.
movie and for Star Wars, obviously. But
Right.
Yeah.
And although.
We're a
none
mess
of-
this week.
Oh my gosh. It's finally getting to us. Okay, quarantine, lack of
It's hit.
social. It's
Technical problems. That's all
with
around.
Carrie Fisher. It's different because she was at the tail end anyway.
Right.
I feel like she needed
Right.
to go regardless of what happened to her in real life, right?
Right.
Like those guys can't just
keep it going.
No. But yeah, with Chadwick, I mean, I don't even think he'd peaked yet.
No, I don't either.
It's
I don't
just
either.
so unfair. Like, I have a whole list of people that, I mean, I'm not saying that they need to have cancer, but I'm just saying, and okay, to be fair, this comes because the cleanse isn't working.
No, it's really not.
It's not.
It's not.
You've got people throwing gender reveal parties that cause
Massive
wildfires,
fires.
and these people clearly are breeding. And what?
Oh, I tell you.
And the guy that, oh my gosh, I don't think I talked about this before, but this guy, Melanie, she sent me an article, and
Okay.
she's like, "Is this one of yours?" And it's this guy from Utah who is full-on anti-masker, doesn't think social distancing is worth it,
Right.
thinks that COVID is being exaggerated for agendas,
Right.
gets COVID.
Of course. I
Goes-
mean, there are
right?
times the cleanse works.
No,
Oh, no.
just wait. He goes to the ER.
Right.
He almost dies.
Almost.
He almost leaves his children as orphans, he says. But he's resilient. And so a week later, after he's almost died, he's back at home doing his thing. Breathing's a little bit harder, but he's cool. And after all that, I still think masks are stupid. I still don't believe that social Hey, cleanse, you failed. I still think that COVID is exaggerated for agendas. Okay.
That's all we can say.
There's nothing else I can do about that.
What is blowing back there?
It's my notes.
Oh!
Since I can't use
You
my
always
phone.
have notes. I don't get any notes.
Um, you have to make your own, Jared. It's not like the Hubs writes these out for me. Can you imagine?
That would be great.
The things we would be talking about.
Oh, but speaking of the apocalypse, before we
Yes.
move on, because I was telling Kate this before I came, that
Oh,
I
yeah.
stopped at the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and juice. You thought toilet
We don't
paper
got
was
the
bad.
juice. Well, here's the thing. Here's the difference.
Right.
People aren't hoarding the juice. The juice
It
probably
was-
can't be made or gotten here.
I guess.
That's the difference.
So, yeah, it was,
There's certain things that are out now aren't because they're being hoarded,
right.
but because the supply chain is failing.
So, yeah, take your multivitamins, find somewhere
Vitamin
else to get
D.
that vitamin C and all that, and,
Mm-hmm.
because, yeah, that's kind of what it looked like, was, you
But
know.
the frozen's still there. That's still
The
good.
frozen was still there, so there you go.
I mean, don't be picky in
Exactly.
a pandemic,
Just gotta mix it with water.
right?
It's all good. Oh,
Okay, so I have a question for you.
oh no.
Explain to me, Beverly's gonna love this. And she's going to be really upset that she's not here for this conversation because I imagine that she would relish the opportunity to explain to me the purpose of these shows entitled Real Housewives of Fill in the Blank.
Oh Lord. Okay, here we go. So, first off, I have to say, Real Housewives, this is the only time I watch Real Housewives, is when I'm on an airplane. That is my guilty pleasure.
I
That's
won't
the
even
only.
watch it then.
So, and the only other one I've watched has been Real Housewives of New Jersey. Because they're just, I don't know why, whatever. They sparkle to me, I guess.
Okay.
But Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
This is why I'm asking. Because I haven't watched it before.
Right.
Okay, so,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Well,
It's
I
like
know
all
that-
the Kardashian.
Of course.
Yeah.
which I know, but here's my thing. When it was Real Housewives of New Jersey or
I think
New
it
York
started
or-
out, in New
when it
York.
was
Yeah.
Real Housewives of Atlanta or New...
Oh,
were
I
these-
like Atlanta too
Okay,
sometimes.
but were these women actual housewives?
No, they generally have some sort of career, obviously. and
All of the women for Real Housewives Salt Lake City.
I haven't seen the cast yet. Is
They're
it
like
bad?
CEOs. They own multiple companies.
Right.
They're not housewives. Like that term, that's just stupid. Never mind the fact that this is like not even the 1%. They're probably like the 0.02% of Salt Lake. And that's not what a real Salt Lake housewife is.
No.
Let's talk about, I got to take 5 kids to the store with me and figure out how to find the juice. I mean, come on.
They need to take a trip down to Wisteria Lane. They'll show you what a housewife is.
If you want to have dramatic women, fine. Don't call them housewives. Like
real women.
One of
That's
them's
all it had to
divorced.
be.
Yeah.
Real women of Salt Lake City.
There you go. Like one of them's divorced. She's not a housewife at all. I'm getting really upset and my mask is falling off because Wallace can't handle this kind of madness.
Wow.
I know.
It's true. So, speaking of, I can't remember what, I had a segue for this. I'm sorry, people. Today is really, things are falling.
You know, we kind of threw this together so that we could fit it in before some extra quarantine time. And clearly we need more time to be emotionally prepared.
Right? So, lately we're having a lot of tell-all books.
Yes.
So that was
we
my
should
question.
Write one.
Well, no, I was going to ask you, who would write your tell-all book?
Beverly, and she'd make half of it up.
And she'd make a profit.
She would too.
She'd turn a profit.
You know what? I might have to extend the challenge. Beverly, do you need a project?
Write that tell-all book.
I think she would do a grand job in the worst way for me. Everyone else would love it. I would be horrified. Who would write yours?
Well, that's funny because I was thinking, I'm like, well, Kate could do it, but then I'm like, no, there's just too much blackmail. Like, I
right?
could, yeah, like, Kate wouldn't do it.
We know too much about each other.
Right.
And we're not mad enough. Well, not that Beverly's mad. I get it. I see what you're saying.
Right.
I know you know too much about me for me to relieve your secrets.
Right, exactly. So.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't.
I mean, Beverly's tell-all would be like 3 truths and a lie.
So then it occurred to me, though, I will write my own tell-all book under a pen name.
Oh, I was going to say, because then you can pick and choose.
Exactly. And if I do make stuff up, well, that'll be fun for me.
Can you imagine? I write my own tell-all book with my own name. Okay, are you sure you told us all of it?
Well, I'm like, isn't that a, what is it, autobiography?
Wow.
But if you market it under tell-all, maybe it'll sell better.
I mean, I'm thinking about it, and I think that it might, because people are going to wonder, did you tell all? And the only way to know, Molly, if you knock that down again, thank you. The only way to know is to read it.
Right. It's great fun.
Let's do it.
Anyway, but yeah.
Let's do a tell-all of speaking of.
That would be fun. I actually started, that's one of my many unending projects. I did start a thing of when we started, and there you have it.
Oh, we could interview
It's there
Barbara.
somewhere.
We could interview producer and Scooter.
And they'll be like, they
some of our
still only
guests.
get 40 views a week. Their lives ain't that entertaining.
You like us, right? Oh, dear.
Oh, anyway.
I have to look at my notes again. Not only have I gone blind today, but... Oh. Okay.
Is that one of the signs of the apocalypse, going blind?
I don't know. I just have blurred vision today for some reason. So, my old friend Chad sends me a quote from More Weird Things Customers Say in Bookstores.
Oh, we like bookstores now, I'm afraid. Did they say stuff we say in bookstores?
They say stuff that we need to say in bookstores.
Okay.
Customer buying 13 ways to dispose of a dead body.
That's a book?
Whisper seriously, there are actually 14, you know. To which I said, how do you respond to that? So these are Chad's responses. Well, no, I guess the lady said, I'll tell the author so he can update the next edition. But then
goodness.
Chad says, I have a friend who has a YouTube series and talked about this, and she's insinuated even more, but she won't reveal her resources. And I won't. You can't just be telling people how to get rid of bodies. I did say, though, that the book could be called Crawl Space, not just for dead bodies anymore.
I do miss that crawl space.
I know some people who don't miss it.
It was
They're
grand.
rather sick of it. Whatever, they like it there. They have tea every day.
Okay.
I assume. I don't know. I don't visit. What else you got?
What else have I got?
Yeah.
Oh, you threw it back to me. I like quick.
I'm sorry. I'll give you one more minute.
I got nothing.
I've heard a new trend.
Okay.
I've heard it from more than one person. 2020 is now to be used as a curse word. What the 2020 was that?
So my concern though is what happens when 2021 comes and things are kind of just the same as 2020.
Well, I mean, I think then we'll all finally accept that it actually is the apocalypse. But my thing is, can we just get it over with already? See, okay.
Right? I'm waiting for the transcending or the things to come from the sky.
When we
Let's
were
just
watching
do it.
Umbrella Academy,
Oh,
and
right.
it's all about avoiding the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Their apocalypse, one day. That's all it takes. This whole spread it out over a year thing,
Oh,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Birds.
I tell you, just, you know what, if there's going to be an asteroid, can we just do it already? Because...
Well, I think, didn't I text you once this week where I'm like, just let's have the vampires and the zombies come already?
Yeah,
Like, let's just do it.
Finish it off.
Let's call it a day. But none of those things will happen until the vaccine comes. Because in all the horror stories, that's where the mutations start coming.
So
then we'll start turning into zombies.
Let's say the joke that the vaccine is ready, they're just trying to figure out how to make it give you autism. But maybe the vaccine is ready, they're just figuring out how to make it turn you into vampires and zombies.
I tell you what.
Because you're right. It starts with no one believing the scientist, and it ends with the vaccine gone wrong.
Right.
I don't think we'll make it. Based on the movies that I've seen.
I don't think so either. We'll start eating our own feet.
Ew!
We'll be zombies.
That's interesting because, you know, zombies don't eat each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But
we
why
won't
not?
be very clever zombies.
We'll be eating our own feet? Will I eat myself?
Well, typically with zombies, they like brains, and they like them to be fresh. And zombies don't have fresh brains.
Okay, but then why do people that get attacked by zombies get bitten everywhere else but their head?
Well, they want to cleanse their palates. I don't know.
No.
I'm not a big fan of the zombie in general, so
no,
I'm probably not the person to ask these questions to. Now, the vampires.
Do they sparkle?
Oh, I don't talk about those vampires.
I'll tell you what, they sparkle because they're precious, because they get COVID and then Batman can't continue anymore.
Oh.
I knew that'd get it. Like kryptonite away.
You're mixing up analogies.
I know that's too long. He calls them star movies now just so he won't get in trouble.
Star
for
movies?
picking the wrong one.
Oh.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
He was watching Big Fish recently.
I haven't seen that one in a while, but yeah.
Well, it took him like 2 days because he falls asleep and does other
well,
stuff.
It is, yeah.
But
it's a thinker.
He's got like a fourth, maybe even an eighth of it left, and he's looking somebody up on IMDb.com. Says out loud, "Ewan McGregor's in this?" Yeah. Yeah, you've been looking at him most of the time.
I worry about him sometimes.
But the good news is we saw Ewan McGregor on an old episode of Top Gear today, and he immediately recognized who he was. So
thank goodness for small favors. No, Ewan's getting ready to have a mini-series on Disney Plus for Obi-Wan. And I don't...
But why?
Yeah, exactly. I'm so done. Like, The Mandalorian is really good, and the little Yoda baby is cute.
I guess.
But I don't care. I think I've even talked about this on the show before. I don't care what he did on Tatooine.
everyone needs an origin story.
Right?
Okay.
We know he went there for 20 years. That's fine.
Do we have to know every bit of it?
No, we do
There's
not.
a reason we didn't look for his diaries, okay?
Anyway.
Speaking of things that we don't want to know about.
Oh boy, I'm scared again.
Well, it's kind of too late because we already know about it. Well, I don't personally.
I'm afraid if I do.
Joe Exotic.
I.
And the fact that he is going to be played in the Lifetime movie, not really Lifetime,
Right.
by Nicolas Cage, which, I mean, if you have to pick somebody.
That's funny because my money was on David Spade, but okay.
It's too small. But you're right. I mean, okay, so here's my dilemma.
Did you watch it?
No.
I didn't watch
So,
it either.
My dilemma is, do I watch it so that I have it as background for watching Nick Cage's version of it, or do I not? Is it like reading the book before the movie? Because I generally don't like to do that.
I don't know. Well, and see, in my other conundrum right now, speaking of entertainment and conundrums, is the Karate Kid TV show, Cobra Kai. Like, I had really no interest. And it's not, I love the Karate Kid movies, but I had no interest. And now it's on Netflix, and now I'm feeling peer pressure.
Of course you are.
But, you know, I felt peer pressure for Harry Potter, too, and managed not to read any of those books. I've seen 2 of the movies.
Speaking of the clones, just kidding. Let's see, what else do I have? I think we've talked about everything. Other than Utah's very own hurricane without water.
So, that also makes my head hurt. I get hurricane strength winds, but
Yes.
can we really refer to it as a hurricane?
It was basically a hurricane with no water.
Well, so like when the thing happened at the Salt Palace a couple years ago,
That was a tornado.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Tornadoes don't have moisture in them.
Oh, moisture.
Seriously? Public schools are failing us, people! Did you think tornadoes and hurricanes were the same?
No.
Are you sure? So here's the difference. It's not so much that there was a hurricane, it's that we had winds that were strong enough to be a hurricane. And so that's the only way to explain how high these winds were, because it's not just, it was windy.
Right.
It was windy enough, it was windy like a hurricane windy, even though it wasn't raining. But, here's why, my point.
Here's we go.
Here's why I'm discussing this. That's how you would explain that event, right? As opposed to, there isn't, sorry, I'm just like, can't stop touching my lip!
It's okay, because we're clean.
Anyway.
And we haven't been anywhere, and,
No.
like, seriously, you're the only people I see.
So, recently, in the Midwest,
Okay.
there was what's called a dengue. I think that's what they called it.
I have no idea.
But it's basically like hurricane-like winds, but a straight wall.
Ew.
And it just plows everything. It's not like a hurricane winds that are a little bit here and a little bit there.
Right.
I mean, it just wipes over the whole thing. That happened recently. So, I mean, it's
Again,
on the bingo card.
Signs of the apocalypse. Like, let's just do it. Open the hell mouth and get it done.
Right? Like, I'm telling you, Umbrella Academy, one day. That's it.
And they managed to subvert it in either a week or less.
Right?
Come on now, people.
I just... and it ain't over yet.
That's not. So stay safe. Make good choices.
Make good choices. Don't visit people.
Don't visit
Don't
people.
live in fear, but also...
Live responsibly.
Yes. As if we've ever done that before.
I don't know. We're doing pretty good this time around.
I've prepared my whole life for this.
To be antisocial.
I mean, I had no idea how... Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for watching us.
Yeah, we'll call it before everything breaks down.
I'll say. I'm Jared.
I'm Kate.
We'll see you next time.